My name is Susan Wavinya Wairimu. I am a peer mentor, a young leader from Kajiado County. I run an initiative called Inspire Teenagers. At Inspire Teenagers, we mentor teenage girls in schools and young mothers in the slums. So we have been dealing with young mothers from Mathare slum, which is in Ngong, Kajiado County, and Geshagi, which is it's more of a slummy area in Kajiado North constituency. I started my initiative 4 years ago. That is after I completed my high school in 2016. And before I completed my high school, out of peer pressure in school, I was expectant. I didn't know what to do, and I was still living with my mom at the slum in Mathare. So at that moment, it was really hard for me to focus with studies. And when I was actually sitting for my second last KCSE paper, my waters broke when I was in school. I was rushed to hospital. I delivered my baby, sat for my last paper the following day after giving birth, and I was able to go back at home. But now I had not really performed well, and my dream was to go to campus, pursue a journalism course so that I may be able to reach out to the community. And so I was able to redo my exams again in 2017. And I thank God because at least I had performed compared to 2016. But now after all that, I decided let me go to college because now I couldn't be able to go to university. So in 2018, I was able to enroll for a certificate course in social work and community development. And my whole dream was to complete the course so that I may be able to approach organizations, the county government, or even charity organizations so that I'd be able to serve the community. But now after my first semester, we were cut short because the institution couldn't reach the quorum. So I felt very much disappointed because I had all my dreams there. And the whole of, from around August to December, I was just at home trying to hustle and raise money to be able to raise my child. But in 2019, I told myself, I have been through a lot. I believe it's time because I had not gone to college and gained my certificate so as to be able to approach the organizations. I decided why not start sharing my stories and reaching out to the community. So I would tag along with people who used to go to schools and children's homes so as to at least have a chance to speak to people. But in the process, I realized that I could not really get what I wanted. So I decided to start my own initiative, and I would meet with girls one-on-one, young mothers, we talk, and in the process they will feel that, oh, so there's actually someone who feels what I am going through. And you see, by the fact which I was raised in the same place, I have been through a lot. I have been through what they are going through. I could feel what they were going through. And as time went by, in around September of that month, being raised in the slum, at times accessing a sanitary pad is a problem. I decided why not start my own initiative and be able to provide sanitary pads for the girls, because I was looking at it in this way. We are having young girls who are getting pregnant due to different reasons. I became pregnant out of peer pressure. We are having girls who are getting pregnant due to lack of sanitary towel. Why not come in and fill that gap? So I was able to do a pad drive. I didn't know how to go about it, but by the power of social media, I received positive response and also the negative response, but I set aside the negative response and I was able to raise sanitary pads. And for the first drive, we were able to reach 90 girls. So you can imagine this is the first time, and I was so happy because I knew for 3 months no girl would be able to go and exchange sex for pads. So that is how I started my initiative. And since then, we have been doing drives. We've been visiting schools. We've been visiting children's home. And like during the period of COVID, we were able to reach 1,000 girls. Because now you see the schools were closed. Most of our girls expect the sanitary pads from school. And now they are not in school. Where do they get the sanitary pads from? My biggest success story is the first drive that I did, because I felt that it was actually my breakthrough, because being that I had never done this, I didn't have the experience, I didn't have people to really connect me to the places I could source for the sanitary pads. But by the fact that I was able to reach 90 teenage girls and young mothers, and from then, after 2 months, I used to visit them, and a girl would tell me, Susie, I am telling you, the pads that you gave me really saved me big time. And also, for the girls that I have been mentoring, I can mention like one who had really low self-esteem, because one, she's a young mother, she's in the slum, she had dropped out of school, and now she felt like her whole life was lost. But by the fact that I was able to be there, to work with her, to provide for her what I provided at that moment, and be able to work with her through that process, at least right now she's able to stand up and speak for herself, and she's actually even ready to go back to school. When the pandemic broke out, we felt like it was time for us to put a stop to our activities, because there were issues of social distancing and all that. And how we used to do our activities is we will bring girls together, talk to them, and distribute the sanitary pads. But actually, when the pandemic broke out, that is when our girls needed us the most. So we were able to do our first mentorship and pad drive the first month after the pandemic broke out. We were able to reach 20 girls, because these were girls whom school has closed immediately. They are all at home. The parents are at home. Most of them used to depend on sanitary donations which were brought in school. And as a matter of fact, some of them will get the pads, but they could not use them because they're having moms at home and they're having sisters at home. So we really were supposed to be there to fill that gap and also to speak to them, because now you see their minds had shifted from school, and they needed counseling and they needed someone to speak to. So since the pandemic broke out till now, we were able to reach 1,000 girls, and these are girls whom we distributed sanitary pads to, and 50 of them were young mothers who we were able to donate sanitary pads to, and also food hampers, because you see, we are having young mothers who now their source of income has been cut short. Some of them are single mothers, some of them are living in abusive marriages, and they're not able to provide for their children. So we were able to ensure that psychologically they are okay, emotionally they are okay, when it comes to their menstrual hygiene they are okay, and also to the children they are able to provide for the young babies. And so it really showed us as an initiative that we should be able to adjust, because now the pandemic made us adjust, and we were able to make an impact, and it has been felt, and we are still pushing for more. In 5 years to come, we are seeing ourselves in a safe house. We want to have a safe place where teenage girls can be able to come in, freely speak, and express themselves, because we come from Kajiado County and we don't have a safe space in Kajiado North where teenage moms can come in, because we have a problem which we are having young girls who get pregnant but they're not able to go back to school. Reason being, there's no one to take care of their child. So we are seeing ourselves in a place where we will be able to shelter these girls, they'll be able to deliver their babies, go back to school and pursue their dreams. So in the Safe House, we are hoping to start an initiative where these teenage girls and the young moms can be making reusable sanitary pads. Because you see, with that, we will be able to empower them economically. We will be able to help them finish their school. They'll be able to provide for their children. And also, the rate of menstrual poverty, period poverty, will have reduced. I believe that with the impact that I and my team has been making in the community, The award will be very instrumental in ensuring that we are able to reach out to more teenage girls and young mothers. And as a matter of fact, we'll be able to network with people who will help us grow as an organization and reach out to as many girls as possible, because our main vision and dream is to inspire the community, to change lives, and to uplift souls. So what we are doing as an organization in line with the theme of this year's Women's Day is we want to challenge young girls. That me as an individual, as Susan, I was able to go through a lot at a very young age. I was able to come back again victorious and say that enough is enough. I am not focusing on my past and it's time for me to make change. So we are here to challenge young girls and young mothers that despite of what you've gone through, there is more to life and you are in a position to achieve your full potential. So through our mentorship and sharing of stories and empowerment projects, we are able to challenge them to get out of that position they've put themselves and shine out here. And in ensuring that we educate teenage girls on matters of sexual and reproductive health, and we are able to provide menstrual products to them, we are very much sure that the girls that we will have worked with will not be limited because of lack of menstrual products. School girls will not miss schools due to lack of menstrual products. And this means that this young lady will be able to attend school and be able to reach their full potential.